Reacher's new spin-off could put a wrench in the show's best dynamic. Word has surfaced that Amazon MGM Studios, Skydance, and CBS Television Studios are developing the first spin-off series for the Reacher television franchise. The new perspective series will follow Frances Neagley, portrayed by Maria Sten. Sten has appeared in both seasons of Reacher as a former Army Master Sergeant, and Jack Reacher's Alan Ritchson, former colleague in the 110th MP Special Investigations Unit. Neagley featured in a recurring role in Season 1 and was upgraded to a series regular for Season 2, where she appeared in every episode. While Sten's Neagley is already confirmed to return in Reacher Season 3, it looks like Amazon MGM Studios is keen to expand Neagley's role by granting the character her own show. Although there is potential to make a great Neagley series, taking Neagley away from Reacher risks removing one of the show's best interpersonal dynamics. Let's take a closer look at what a Neagley spin-off could mean for the future of the Reacher series. Reacher and Neagley share a special, unique bond. Since the first season, Neagley and Reacher have displayed one of the show's most special and unique relationships. Reacher and Neagley are incredibly close, but their relationship is strictly platonic, based on mutual respect and camaraderie. In Season 2, Neagley and Reacher's relationship grew even further. At the end of the season, Reacher and Neagley acknowledge that they are more than just friends, they are family, establishing a brother and sister-like bond between the two characters. In Season 1, it's Reacher who asks Neagley for help in exposing the counterfeit ring in Margrave, Georgia. In Season 2, Neagley contacts Reacher with an SOS distress signal, informing him of the season's central mystery and the murder of their former colleague, Calvin Franz, Luke Billick. Neagley and Reacher share an incredible level of trust and understanding in each other's lives. While they are very different people, Neagley knows her former boss and his habits incredibly well. In the Season 2 premiere, ADM, she clocked Reacher's travel activities to New York down to the minute. She is one of the few people in the show who can match Reacher's pace and intellect. Reacher trained his student Neagley well, and Neagley views Reacher as her precious mentor. As she points out in ADM, when Reacher wants to reimburse her for his travel expenses, she explains, "Not necessary. I wouldn't have my career if I hadn't matriculated at the school of Reacher. Consider it past due tuition." Neagley's work is invaluable in solving the money laundering scheme in the first season, and she also helped Reacher uncover the culprits behind the murders of their former military teammates in Season 2. Once again, it was Neagley who had Reacher's back and saved the day in the Season 2 finale, Flyboy. Neagley getting a spin-off series potentially hurts Reacher. A potential new spin-off series risks taking Neagley out of Reacher to focus on her own television show. It would be a shame to permanently lose that amazing dynamic Reacher and Neagley share with one another, and it would be disappointing if Reacher loses Neagley as a recurring character. In all fairness, it's possible that Sten could split time between Reacher and her solo series. Additionally, a diminished role doesn't necessarily mean Sten would have to be completely written out of Reacher. She could still make select guest appearances rather than showing up in every episode, similar to the first season. Hopefully, Neagley's new show doesn't mean she will be totally absent for the rest of Reacher's run. The rapport between Reacher and Neagley has become an indelible part of the fabric of the series. If Neagley were to leave the series completely for the upcoming spin-off, it would take some time to get used to the change. Amazon's Reacher, based on Lee Child's popular Jack Reacher series, has quickly captured the attention of action thriller fans. The show's first season, starring Alan Ritchson as the titular former military policeman, was a resounding success. It brought an adrenaline-fueled mix of suspense, mystery, and high-octane action to the screen, attracting a global following. Reacher's imposing physical presence and sharp intelligence have made him a beloved anti-hero who operates in a morally gray world, making the show both thrilling and satisfying. With Reacher's success, it's no surprise that Amazon would want to expand the universe. Enter the spin-off, The Evil Never Dies. This new series will reportedly feature a younger version of the character, exploring his earlier days in the military, before he became the grizzled and world-weary ex-cop fans know today. While the spin-off is undoubtedly a welcome addition to the franchise for many, it could unintentionally disrupt the show's best dynamic, Reacher's compelling relationship with his supporting characters. At the core of Reacher is the dynamic between the titular character and his allies. In the first season, Reacher's partnership with former detective Roscoe Conklin, played by Willa Fitzgerald, and Police Chief Oscar Finley, portrayed by Malcolm Goodwin, was an unexpected but well-constructed combination. Roscoe's tough yet empathetic nature and Finley's sharp intellect and reluctance to accept Reacher's unorthodox methods created a dynamic that felt both fresh and believable. Their teamwork allowed the audience to see different sides of Reacher, his vulnerabilities, his leadership qualities, and even his wit, without overshadowing his stoic persona. Reacher is a lone wolf by nature, someone who doesn't often form deep, lasting relationships. This is part of his charm, as he comes into a new town, solves a problem, and leaves without looking back. However, the bonds he forms with characters like Roscoe and Finley are vital to his growth. Their trust in him, despite his unconventional ways, humanizes the character, making him more than just an unstoppable force of justice. This dynamic has been one of the show's strongest aspects, and has contributed to the show's emotional depth. So what happens when a spin-off, focusing on a younger version of Reacher, enters the fold? There's a significant risk that it could undermine the core dynamic of the main series. In the new spin-off, we will likely see a less seasoned and perhaps more idealistic Jack Reacher, a man still finding his footing, still coming to terms with the harsh realities of the world around him. While this might be interesting to explore from a character development standpoint, it also risks stealing focus from the more hardened version of Reacher that viewers have come to love. One of the greatest challenges in the spin-off will be balancing the portrayal of a younger Reacher with a more complex version in the original series. If the prequel series dives too deep into Reacher's backstory, it might lessen the sense of mystery that surrounds the character in Reacher. Fans of the show appreciate that they don't know everything about him. His dark past, emotional scars, and motivations are all shrouded in layers of ambiguity. A spin-off that spends too much time exploring his earlier years could deflate that intrigue, making the character feel more predictable. Moreover, the younger Reacher in The Evil Never Dies may not have the same chemistry with supporting characters that Richardson's version does. Relationships are a key part of Reacher's appeal, and much of the audience's investment in the show comes from watching him slowly open up to those around him. A prequel would presumably focus on different sets of characters, military comrades, mentors, or superiors who shaped Reacher's path, but these connections might not carry the same weight or emotional resonance as the partnerships Reacher forms later in life. The chemistry between the older Reacher and his allies, like Roscoe and Finley, is a big part of what keeps the audience engaged. If the spin-off fails to replicate that dynamic, it could create a disconnect for viewers invested in the main show's character relationships. Additionally, there's the question of tone. Reacher balances dark, violent action with moments of levity and camaraderie. The main show is a gritty, high-stakes procedural, but it also knows when to let its characters relax and joke around. A spin-off might lean too heavily into Reacher's military background, potentially turning it into a more traditional war drama or action-heavy prequel. While the character's backstory is undoubtedly compelling, it's crucial that the show doesn't lose sight of what made Reacher a hit: its focus on character development, humor, and unexpected alliances.